In a world of increasing mental health challenges, psychology and faith can both provide tools for healing and wellness. This is the idea behind Journey on My Mind. Each episode, our panel of pastors and therapists sit down together to share their experiences and insights on the modern world's mental health issues: depression, loneliness, aging, addiction, and so much more. Join us now as we explore what it means to thrive at the complex intersection of spirit and psychology.
Hey, welcome to Journey on My Mind.
Welcome. We're here. We just now started talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Dave's dressed for...
I'm a lumberjack.
That's it.
It's my second career.
And in high school, that was the name of our team.
Lumberjacks?
We were
Was
the
it really?
Lumberjacks. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That is an odd name.
When you grew up in Minnesota, it is not.
Okay.
We were the Marauders.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah. Mount Vernon Marauders.
What was yours?
Well, I'm embarrassed.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is it Anteaters?
The Angels.
I wish it was
The
that.
Flames.
So I went to a Christian school and the team name was the Ambassadors.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That is just
We're not going to compete. We're going to just negotiate.
mortifying.
The Ambassadors.
Even then I knew it was bad.
We're here to make peace.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me open my briefcase
Yeah.
and have a treaty signed.
So when our kids were in school,
Yeah.
we sent them to a Christian school that didn't have any sports, so we started all the sports programs,
Yeah.
Lori and I. And so we had to eventually come up with a name.
Yeah.
So the mascot that I came up with was the Warriors. So it was called the Warriors. And
Good name.
Yeah.
so Zach graduates from high school, Alyssa graduates from high school. They changed the name,
Two.
the Crusaders.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's like the Marauders. I mean, sometimes the name just
Come
says it
on!
all, right? Yeah.
And think about now, Crusaders, the implication
Oh,
of
I
that.
know.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Yep.
Not good.
Keep the Warriors, man. I thought that was
Way better.
It's a
Yeah.
good name. That's a good name.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. So glad we gathered today. We're an hour late, so we're doing daylight savings time today.
They don't know that.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Shh,
Yeah.
Don't tell them.
They don't know.
Well, they'll never know. Well, now they know. We got a suggestion from one of our 5 listeners.
Yeah.
And we really came through an email, and I was intrigued enough to pass it along to you guys. So
I think it's fascinating.
do you?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm curious.
Yeah. So there's this is an ongoing conversation, I do believe, online about AI, about just how it affects humans, how it affects, and but not just AI.
I think the topic's dopamine.
It is.
Okay.
And-
Because
but
you're
it's
getting ready
related-
to move us into, I'm like,
No, but it's related to those hits
yeah.
that you
Sure.
get from that, and so we thought we would meander down this conversation
Yep.
around dopamine, and I do think this actually has a lot to do with spiritual formation as well. So
I do it. I actually think that is a big part of our conversation.
yeah, and by the way, just thank you, Stuart, for throwing it our way.
Yes.
Go
Cool.
ahead.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna
Over to you in the
Dave.
booth.
Over to you, Dave.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to
Set it up.
acknowledge who sent it.
Yeah.
thank you, Stuart.
Yeah.
So
Good
yeah,
man.
there is a lot of conversation online about dopamine and dopamine addiction and
Yeah.
whether we should have dopamine fasts and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, I didn't
So
see that part.
We're going to talk. We're going to talk about all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will start by saying there's a lot of misinformation. So
Okay.
what happens when these things hit TikTok and Instagram is
YouTube.
Yeah.
they become sort of the notion at its core is correct, but then they get sort of distorted or blown up in a way that's not accurate. So I think I'm going to make some effort to clarify what this is and is not, and then some of these terms that are floating out there.
That's
Yeah.
great.
But I do think a lot of our conversation needs to be like spiritual implication
Yeah.
of all this. So there's this misinformation out there that dopamine is this pleasure chemical in your head.
Right.
That is not correct.
Oh,
That is false.
well, there you go.
So first,
Check that box.
right, dopamine is a neurotransmitter, which is a fancy way of saying a chemical in your brain that transmits information to and communicates information in different parts of your brain.
Okay.
And different neurotransmitters do different things.
Okay.
So dopamine is not responsible. It is not a pleasure chemical.
Oh.
So when dopamine gets released, you're not feeling pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually the neurotransmitter that's responsible for goal-directed behavior, motivation, moving toward things.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I know people with a lot of that, and I know people that don't have any.
Right.
Yeah.
And dopamine in different ways can actually show up as physical disorders. Like Parkinson's is actually a disorder of dopamine.
Is it an
primarily.
overload?
It's not enough.
Or not enough. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Right.
Okay.
So it has to do with motor behavior and movement and all that. And when so that's a big part of Parkinson's. Not all of it, but it's a big part of it. So
I would never put that together.
right.
Yeah, I had forgotten. I mean, my dad had Parkinson's, and I remember something about it, but it's a not enough dopamine.
The treatment for it historically was a medicine called L-Dopa, which
sorry, keep going.
yeah, but it's sort of hitting at dopamine a little
Yeah.
bit, trying to push it. There's also some research about the role of dopamine in other major mental illnesses that sometimes if it's surging, it may contribute to hallucinations or really odd thinking or things like that. So it's a broader thing than just this. It's not a pleasure chemical.
Okay.
It's about movement and goal-directed behavior and seeking out things. And it's a very adaptive part of our head.
So is it like a chemical like that helps us with our drive?
Yeah.
Our motivation?
Yeah,
and that?
absolutely.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's it. So that's a better way to think about it.
Okay.
So here's how it's adaptive is like our brains were wired with this to kind of seek out things that might be, oh, that's an interesting thing. I need to check it out.
Yeah.
Right. That helps us.
Yeah.
It's like, is it danger or is it good? And is it good? Oh, wow, that's cool. Let's have more of that.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
It's very primed in our head to seek out new things and novelty
Yeah.
and stimulation. So here's where this gets to be confused with it being pleasurable. Think about what's going on in our culture. Smartphone, social media,
Yeah.
video gaming, all kinds of sort of quick stimulations, rapid, novel, different, interesting,
and constant. Right. They're just it's one to the next.
So that's where dopamine's it's propelling us to next thing.
Death
What about this?
scrolling.
What are that? Right.
Yeah.
So it by itself is not something that's creating pleasure in our head. What it's doing is driving us toward these hits.
So it's almost like driving us to seek that out.
It is. That's what it is. That's the distinction. And it's an important distinction.
Yeah.
Because there are other chemicals in your head that have more to do with actual pleasure or an emotional feeling, oxytocin, serotonin, things like that.
Yeah.
But dopamine gets confused as it's like this pleasure chemical. It's not.
It gets lumped in with all you hear that all the time.
Yeah, just going for a dopamine hit.
Serotonin. Yeah.
Yep.
And what we know is that dopamine fires off when there's a possibility of a pleasure or a reward.
Okay.
More so even than when you're consuming the reward. So it's like, oh, look at that. And then your brain lights up about, I want that, or I want to explore that, or I want more, right?
Yeah.
And it makes sense then that if we're kind of driven by this need, if we've got things in our lives now that are feeding this all the time, and it's driving us to this all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
Okay. So let's pause on that. Oh yeah. Dopamine is a biological chemical. It's good. It's not a bad thing.
Right.
We want to have, if you didn't have dopamine, a lot of stuff in your life wouldn't work.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot.
Like everything.
So dopamine's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Nor is it inherently good. Although I would say, if you had to say is it good or bad, it's good that we have it because it helps us with movement, drive, motivation, all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So let me
when
pause.
It's balanced, right?
Right. That's right. So let me pause there. Any clarification of this or any thoughts about this?
So we have no control over it.
That's not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
That
That's why I
that
asked.
was very clarifying.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
That's not true.
I mean,
It seems like we should.
we might go down this path, but I kind of started thinking just about like addiction
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, that if that's the chemical that's firing us to keep going after,
Yes.
you
Yes,
know.
yes.
So anyway,
That's a perfect segue.
Okay.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
So this idea of dopamine addiction, and by the way, if you had somebody else in my role who's got, you know, a mental health background, they might say a different thing.
Okay.
I am very reluctant to lump all these things in the addiction category
okay.
Yeah.
for a lot of reasons. And one is that we do have some criteria of what addiction is and is not.
And we've talked about that.
And we start talking about all these things as addictions. The problem with that is that with addiction comes this implied loss of control, right? And so we're a kind of like giving over sense of control. Is like, I have dopamine addictions. Like, what am I going to do? I got, you know, like I've got to look at TikTok all the time. Right. So the truth is, though, that when we're doing things habitually, we're over consuming things. It really can reshape how our brains are working. It can reshape our attention span, our patience, our ability to regulate our emotions. So I think a better way to think about this is not through an addiction lens, but through a regulation of behavior lens, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this is a clinical addiction. I would say someone's behavior could get really dysregulated and they could be just doom scrolling all the time or compulsively playing video games or doing all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So,
and that not be an addiction in that sense.
Per se, right.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, maybe it's a languaging issue. Maybe it's like we're splitting hairs. I just am very reluctant to when people say I've got this blank addiction.
Right.
Everything becomes this sort of addiction. I've got a love addiction. I've got
and that's our culture now.
Right.
Too. Everything's an addiction. Yeah.
Right. And what's implied in that is
I
like
can't control
this thing that it's like a disease I have that I can't control.
Right.
And I think that's actually works against us because there are people that have really legit addictions. And if I were someone that had a substance addiction or a history of substance addiction, and then I heard all these people talking about, I'm addicted to, junk food and all, it would kind of irritate me.
Yeah.
Because we're not talking the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Make a different choice.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's not tough. It's not
totally.
Right.
Yeah, but I got you.
All right. So this is where we start talking about this and faith.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So I think if we've got the premise down is like what this is you've got a chemical in your head. You need it. We want it. But then it's set up to seek out things that are interesting, novel. And we're like, what about that? How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
And then we have this culture that just feeds that.
Yeah. Prompts curiosity.
And that has all these implications on our attention span,
Yeah.
how patient we are, our being present in the moment and in conversation, our ability to manage our emotions, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's take it to the level of like, what are the spiritual implications of this?
Yeah.
Because that feels like an important part of what we're talking about.
I sat and watched a little bit. I didn't watch the whole video because the video was like an hour and a half.
The one that Stuart recommended?
Yeah. I watched about half of it. And, okay, not true. I listened to it. I didn't watch it, but it was on YouTube.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, whatever. Anyway, so I just being truthful.
Moving on.
Confession.
I found myself trying to understand you've clarified the connection between this idea of dopamine, and she had taken it down this path of how people are creating chat boxes that create artificial relationships. She was talking about how pornography has turned into artificial relationship, how they think that they have a relationship with somebody online when really it's just like on social media. It's not really that person. So this is somehow this we've created, humans have created artificial relationship that has substituted underneath what actual relationship would be. And I was very intrigued by that. And but in my mind, the first thing that came to mind was, yeah, but But it would be a lot easier to have a relationship with something I can control, with something that I can turn off and on, that I don't have to pay attention to, that I,
Yeah.
And so that's the spiritual implication, I think, behind a lot of what happens online, is that people can choose to create things in their own image. They can choose to create things that they're attracted to or interested in, that probably does give them some kind of dopamine, something, or some kind of emotional satisfaction that they can't get. They're struggling to find in other avenues. And so I think the spiritual implication behind it is that we've created another set of substitutes for authenticity. We've created another set of substitutes for easy life rather than, and we've tried to, and most people go through life trying to minimize the amount of problems or amount of difficulties. And I get that. Who doesn't, right? But with that, every relationship you are in has a set of problems attached to it. And what I mean by that is that if you're married to someone, you live with them, there's obviously going to be conflict of interest. There's going to be moments of disagreement. And if there's not, then you're not living with them. I don't know what you're doing. Because if you really know people and work with people or live with people or whatever you're doing with people, it implies that in us is the innate thing that is going to be, you're going to have to learn how to forgive. You're going to have to learn how to ask for forgiveness. You're going to have to learn how to extend grace. But if I'm just hitting stuff on the computer and I'm not really in relationship with them, I just turn them off. I don't have to deal with
it. Allows you to it short circuits the relationship.
I think it short circuits the very thing that makes us human. I believe that.
I think you're on the right track. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I do.
And I think God made us in a particular way that we're designed for intimate connection with other humans. And in those relationships, we find true humanity.
Yeah.
And we're better together than we are as individuals. And there is a need for us to be connected. And I think the artificial connection that people get from death strolling or whatever it is feeds something that is preventing then the harder part, which is, I'm going to actually connect with humans.
Yeah. Well, I think, just as we're talking about, I'm curious, like, does it just, as we get into that kind of that chasing kind of dopamine or that hit or that fix or whatever, there's just so much to chase right now too. It's almost like there's no place to be bored anymore,
right?
To stop, to need, to even recognize that. I don't know.
I think you're right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I think the other spiritual part of it, though, it's correct me if I'm wrong, though.
You're wrong.
Okay.
But carry on.
But I think in the pursuit of God is also this, that chemical is, I think, necessary
to drive us towards
the
curiosity
God.
towards it. Yeah.
So we're designed for it. We're designed to be.
Yeah, it's just been hijacked.
I'm curious about this. I'm curious about God, so I'm going to step into it. I'm going to pursue that. And I think as it feeds something in us, we will pursue it more. But the more we choose not to pursue it, the less interesting it becomes.
That's perfect.
This might be random sounding, but with that same idea, is it's almost like we create all these little idols that keep us so busy, you know?
Yeah.
We're all just always chasing that thing. Yeah. So
we create God in our own image,
it,
right? Or in the image of what we want him to be.
Or we chase that, what we think it is.
For sure.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I would just affirm everything you're saying. I will just underline a few things that I don't know that the issue spiritually is that we desire pleasurable things.
Right.
No,
that's
you're right.
That's a design. I mean, God designed us with that.
Yeah. So it's having a life where we pursue pleasure,
Yeah.
joy is not bad.
Right.
Right.
It's maybe not the end all of all things, but it's not inherently bad. So the issue is not, oh, we've got this chemical that makes us sort of chase all these little short-term pleasures. The issue is more around attention, and that it's sort of like all these idols, all these things competing for attention, drawing our attention. And you think about then the implications of attention to God and to each other and to our inner sort of spiritual life.
Yeah.
And we don't have room for it. It's
That's
what you
right.
get. It crowds it all out.
Yeah.
And so you think about what does it require, because you can have a relationship with God or with another person that is very satisfying and joyful. But there are lots of parts of that that require patience
Yes.
and sure and steady wins the race and a movement towards something that doesn't have immediate payoff.
Right.
And then you've got these things that are like, I'll give you an immediate payoff over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really, that to me feels like one of the biggies, not the only biggie.
Well, yeah, because real relationship requires investment, and it's gonna. It is a
and dopamine doesn't necessarily help with that. In some ways, it does, but not. It's really the thing that catches your attention and says, "Look at that, go do that."
Okay,
and that's a new thing. Oh, that might even be better. What about this one? Right, and that's again at its base level, it's really adaptive, but in our culture, it's become nutso.
Yeah.
And it has implications for our personal, individual relationships with God, but also our corporate relationship.
Yeah,
with
because
each other and
to
with
the
God.
the relationship idea.
Yeah.
You know?
And I just start thinking about, and I'm going to own a lot of this too, because I feel it myself.
Sure.
Especially with the phone. I just feel it. But what are the implications in our ability to be silent as a spiritual discipline, or to be, doing nothing that's sort of giving this immediate payoff and just reflective, to pray, or to fast, or to engage in liturgy or whatever. Like it feels like there's no way this doesn't take us away from that stuff. The spiritual disciplines.
Yeah. I think being distracted by the next shiny thing is a human condition that has been going on from the beginning.
Yeah.
Those shiny things just look different.
Well, even
today.
when
And
you're
there's
using
more of them.
that's it. I know I'm not talking about dopamine addiction in that sense, but it's almost like we get addicted to the busyness, to the always having something triggering that, not necessarily the feeling, but just the
drive toward it.
Yeah.
Right. So King David wandering around on the top of his palace, looking out over his kingdom, and he eyespies a beautiful woman.
Bathsheba.
Dopamine.
Sure.
I think I'm going to.
Yeah.
That looks interesting. That looks very interesting.
Yeah. But now take that forward, and you've got a bazillion beautiful women on your phone if you want to look at that. Or you've got
bazillion.
I mean, you know what I mean? And you can see or find what you want. I'm not just even talking about porn. I'm just talking about like social media.
Yeah,
I'm talking
all
about,
of it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Even things about the news and social media with all these, like what gets posted on all this social media is all the stuff that lights people up. So then it's like, okay, I got to know a little bit more. What about this? And all this breaking news and all.
I don't turn on boring YouTube videos. Right. I'm only turning on a video that I'm interested in this.
Right.
Or I'm after something.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
And then we limit it. And that's why.
I watch sewing channels.
Oh boy.
Explains a lot.
Oh boy.
He listens to him on YouTube. He just listens.
He listens to the sewing channel.
Listen to the thread. Listen to it go through.
Oh my God.
I think you need to start your own sewing channel.
I can distinguish between a singer and no, never mind.
That's a type
Sewing
of sewing machine, by the way.
I'm very good.
I know.
Sewing with
And
Kevin.
a Kenmore.
Sewing with Kevin. Kenmore.
Well, you promise me that you'll start sewing with Kevin this year.
Crocheting.
All right, let's talk about what to do about all this.
All right.
Couldn't sew a button
That's a
on,
good
just so
idea.
everybody knows.
Yeah, just so you know.
And buttons are things that you
People were worried about
Here's the solution to all of it.
Oh man. Okay, so there's this concept out there called dopamine fasting. And
Right.
It's like,
Is
well-
it such a thing?
well, I guess because people are calling it a thing.
Okay.
But is it a scientific thing? Is it a
Yeah.
No. But the underlying idea can be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're never gonna fast from dopamine. I mean,
Well,
like your
yeah,
dopamine's always going.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
It depends on what you
I'm gonna
mean
turn
by
that dopamine off for a couple hours and just take it easy.
Right. Watch the Sewing Channel.
Right. Yeah. The idea that if you're not on your phone or social media or playing video games, that you don't have dopamine happen is
Yeah.
like, that's just silly.
Right.
So, but the idea, the intention underneath of it is, can I do some things that begin to like change this sort of high dopamine
Hit.
The drive for that. Yeah.
Sure, you
Yeah.
can. And here's the other part. If I were to do those things or not do those things, would that make a difference? So the answer is yes and yes. You can do things that
Make it less.
reduce
Okay.
and actually begin to settle back. Your brain begins to change back.
Okay.
Your brain's really plastic. It's really responsive. Plastic,
Moldable.
plastic in the sense of it's
Yeah.
moldable. It's
Pliable.
not plastic.
Kevin's
like
is
it's-
actually plastic.
Yeah, Kevin's is like a big. It's a Jello mold. It's a Lego.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
It's a Lego Batmobile. That's Kevin's brain.
There you go.
I don't know what.
It's well built though.
True. That is true. It's strong.
It works.
Yeah.
So some of this is the obvious stuff of like maybe, and this is I'm going to talk to myself for a second.
Okay.
Maybe don't have your phone with you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And like I found myself, and this is where it's crazy, is like, let's say Elle and I are watching a show. I'll have my phone beside me, and during like a lull, I'll just pick it up and look.
Yeah.
That's stupid, right?
I do that.
We all do it, and we're all like the kids these days. Is like it's not the kids, it's us.
Yeah.
We're all doing this.
Well, peepaw these days.
Peepaw.
Yeah.
And then the whole like getting on social media and just scroll without any limits and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
don't do that.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, good for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I know I've talked about it before, but taking that social media break for a few years and like where it wasn't just sit down and scroll or, and then some habits, even like when I get home, I put my phone, I plug my phone in, it's by my bed.
so good.
Right. And so I can hear it if I need to, but it's not with me all the time. And I feel like for me personally, things like that have been good in calming some of the chaos that,
I think
you
you're
know what I
right.
mean? That drive. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think the reflection for all of us is going to be, think about these things. Don't limit it just to phone, just to social media.
Right.
Think about whatever it is that you are using to avoid boredom, to avoid loneliness, to avoid emptiness or just space in your life. Because actually that's a part that we haven't hit really hard in this conversation is this is a lot of what this is about,
Okay.
right? It's like, I got to fill up this
Empty space.
this empty space.
Okay.
And we fill it up with all this stuff that just becomes
Yeah.
poisonous for us.
Right.
Think about those things.
Yeah.
And then what are you willing to do as a next step? Doesn't have to be all or nothing. Like I appreciate that Sam would take like years long fasts from social media. I think that's great if you can do it. I really do.
Well, and
But it's also if you're like, well, I just need to take a month off.
yeah, and that was just my own personal thing
right.
at the time,
Yeah.
But yeah, or even like just little habits to like creating new little habits.
Leave your
right?
phone in the other
put it
room
somewhere else.
and be with, in the
your
conversation
family.
or be with your family or
Yeah.
do whatever.
Be present.
I just had a conversation with a client today that said one of the things that has been a rift is like he listens to podcasts and when he's with his kids, he's still got his AirPods in and it has the illusion that he's sort of with them, but he's really right. Okay. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So all these things are in our world now
Yeah.
that then we have to make intentional efforts so to your point, like there's nothing we can do about it. Yes, there are lots of things we can do about it.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
like for me, I want to make some changes in that. think about, reflect on that.
Yeah.
And then also build in maybe affirmative things like times of prayer and reflection.
Yeah. Right.
Times every time Ella and I have made major decisions about where we move, whether we're going to adopt a child, whatever, we would take an extended, we call it a retreat of silence. We would go away, separate from each other for hours, and then you had no phone or whatever. You would just make notes if you had them, just whatever. Those kinds of spiritual
Gilligan
disciplines.
Island.
Well, I think so much of it's just learning to like listen again.
Yeah.
And to just be okay with ourselves.
Yep.
You know, there's,
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So any other thoughts about?
I think in light of the busyness of culture, I think we've made it busy. I don't think it's as busy as people think it is. This is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is, and you can refute this. But the reason it's busy is because it's telling us we are and giving us things to be busy with.
And we perpetuate that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't allow for the space of connecting with others and with God. It doesn't allow for the space because we've not been intentional about incorporating God into our everyday life. If I'm not intentional about it, I'll go a whole day and
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
and I'm a
Yeah. You're a pastor,
I
Kevin.
know. I was going to say something else.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, the whole idea of the spiritual realm becomes secondary when all we see is what is in front of us.
Yeah.
Because you don't see it unless you're looking for it. And if you're not looking for it, you're never going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the
Or
invitation.
things will fill that space to blind you from it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And we have so many things we can worry about. All you have to do is watch the news, and it just gives you a list of things to worry about.
Right.
And so
It's good.
I invite you into, I think fasting is one of the best things we can do, because I think food helps to, the absence of food helps us to be able to focus.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it does for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, it does something to you, for sure. That's for sure. Yeah.
I try not to be that way, but it does.
And I don't want to pull it out of the spiritual entirely, but just to toggle back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
Even things like returning to reading.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just interject. I've started to read some of the classics I missed.
Comic books, Superman.
Yeah. Like right now I'm reading East of Eden.
Oh, yeah.
What a book, man.
Yeah,
what a
it's a good
book.
book.
Right? So just getting back into reading the classics. If you can walk without headphones or AirPods.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what
committing to service of other people, getting back into conversation, and then bringing that back into the spiritual realm of engaging in spiritual disciplines that involve patience and focus and our attention and shifting of our attention in intentional ways.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Or you were going to
Feel
say,
free.
I cut you off.
I was just going to say I play pickleball periodically, open play, and there's a guy that comes to pickleball. There's a couple guys that come to pickleball, and they wear their headphones while they play.
Wow.
And they're listening to something while they play. Is the most annoying thing.
And they don't engage the people around them, really? Or?
Right.
And sometimes they're not attuned to what's happening in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you want to listen to a podcast,
Get your head in the game, bud.
Yeah, right.
Literally.
That's a perfect example.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's good.
But we see that like people listening to pickleball, podcast during pickleball, pickleball during podcast.
Either way.
And families in a restaurant that all of them are on their phone.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Yeah. You see that all the time.
kids that have disappeared into their rooms to play video games for 6 hours a day and et cetera. This is our culture now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we cannot be passive. Well, we can, because we are being passive. We should not be passive in the face of these things that are coming to compete for our attention.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
So
What's your question?
last question is for both of you, where do you, as a church community, and we can talk locally here, but really for anybody in a church community, what are practical ways that we can begin to address this? Not just preaching about it or whatever, but like, what does this look like in a faith community?
Yeah.
In ways that we can be really intentional about.
Right.
Go ahead if you have a
Well,
thought.
I have thoughts, but
Go.
I usually jump on these.
You're great.
Before you,
I
and
love
then
it.
You're kind of staring at
I
me.
process a while.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking.
My initial response, or my initial is normally what the church does is follow the culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's their normal pattern. They're a little behind, and so they
Right.
they fill the gap with programs. They fill the gap. That's a normal
Yes.
functioning of the church, which buys into the idea of keep them busy. And I actually was taught that in seminary because people don't know what to do with their spare time. And in my mind, I'm like, they're adults.
Mm-hmm.
And they would tell, yeah, but anyway, all that to say this is that I think the church has to do the job of creating community in such a way that it is not program driven, it is not guilt driven, and it is not driven by the idea of the more that you do, the better you are for God, or you're actually doing things for God, like you work for Him. You've actually joined into the family. You've become a child of God. You've actually moved into a different relationship with God in such a way that now sitting with Him is of great value. Sitting with His people is of great value. So developing this idea around what we do here at Lisa Journey is the idea of the table. It is the idea of everyone is welcome. It is hospitality driven. It is around this idea that the highest value of God obviously was, I need to redeem my creation of which we are a part. And so part of what captures me about the church is that we are part of the kingdom of God in such a way that He's recapturing it's His dopamine, I guess. He's recapturing His creation in such a way to redeem it so that we might live meaningful and purposeful lives that reflect the value of God, which is humans, which is other people. And so the church should reflect that. The church should be about relationship. It should be about encouraging the love of one another and how to have good relationships with one another, but also just being in those relationships in such a way that you can hear others and be heard by others, be seen and heard.
Yeah. It's the relationship piece is kind of exactly where I keep leaning into. I don't know that I have a whole lot to add to that, Kev. Yeah.
Okay.
The only piece I would add is maybe around not only when people are gathered to practice some of the things that help us be quiet and still.
Yeah. Some spiritual practices,
but also
definitely help.
Sort of give people the challenge, not in a programmatic way, but just to be like, let's practice this kind of corporately.
Yeah.
Feels like these things we have to make decisions to not do certain things, but also to do certain things.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
There is the biggest emphasis for me on this last year is trying to figure out how to proactively love my enemies. So it is it's not just, I'm not going to do you harm. That is one way that I love my enemies is I don't do them harm when I can. The other way is to actually bless them, is to actually do things for them that without expectation of anything in return. I suck at this, by the way, just so we're aware. But there is a tangible look at that. You need to move in this direction. So that's where dopamine pushes me in a direction that I might not want to go all the time.
Okay. Yeah. I also think about like if we listed out the fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
And how many of those things are getting compromised by the ways that our culture's pulling us.
Yeah.
Patience and long suffering and self-control.
All of them.
Right. Nearly all of them.
Yeah.
And maybe using that as a personal guide to be like, what am I going to do to build more patience? What am I going to do to practice more self-control?
Well, I think
what am I going to do to,
Yeah, I think it's being intentional about being intentional.
Right. And that might give you a little personal outline around the way to be intentional,
Well, because
the
stuff
directions to
just
be intentional.
with the chaos of our world, stuff just fills in the void.
Yeah.
And so we have to be intentional about not allowing those things to fill the void,
Yeah.
and because they're going to get filled. So do we fill them with, kind of to your point, with relationship and with these good things, or do we just fill them with doom scrolling? And we have a choice.
Yeah, and I've intentionally tried to wean myself off of like sporting. I love watching sporting events on TV.
Yeah.
And so I have to go, okay, I've just wasted 3 hours.
What
and
can I
it's
do
not
at
because
that
I'm on
time?
my phone, it's because I'm staring at a TV.
Yeah.
Right.
Watching a baseball game, which, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
They've sped them up a little bit, but not enough.
But there's, again, just to add a little nuance, as long as it's intentional activity.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
if you want to watch a football game in the playoffs or something that's really great,
Good
do
too,
it.
yeah.
I think this is more about pushing against the mindlessness
Yes.
Right.
of
Which baseball is.
like can be, right? Of just like we've got a screen in front of us and we're just sort of passively doing something.
Because if I don't care the outcome of the game, why am I watching it?
Yeah.
Well, and I think it also, man, I'll be quiet. This can keep going, but I think you can almost see that in the depth of our church, in the church, like that. You know, everything's filled that void. Well, we haven't.
Yeah.
We don't stay there long or deep.
Right.
We just get our hit and we move on to
That's
the
it.
next
Yeah.
service.
That's
right.
Right. Like,
Right.
so
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It actually does.
And worship services are often constructed to be big dopamine
that's
hits.
it, man. Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, I get because the worship's so killer, and it's all like that's the drive.
The next
Yeah.
thing,
The drive
next
is
thing.
to get the sort of pleasurable
Yeah.
experience,
Right.
rather than the deepening of
Yeah.
character.
And then we do it and we feel good that we did it. Right?
Yeah.
So we can get another hit from the check of doing
Right.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a good
crazy.
point. That's really good.
But it's good for us to be mindful about that for ourselves.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Yep.
But
For
cool.
sure. Well, that's good.
Good, man.
All right. Well, Happy New Year, everybody.
Here it is.
Good luck.
Yeah. 26.
Good luck. All righty.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Journey on My Mind. If you enjoyed it, please help us spread the word by leaving us a review and sharing it on your social media. Journey on My Mind is a production of Journey Church in Brentwood, Tennessee. Edwin Rivera III is the show's producer with technical assistance from Randy Hansen. Grant Opperman edits the show. If you have a suggestion for a future topic or a question, you can text us at 615-861-9503. And if you would like to talk to someone about spiritual or mental health issues, you can email our care pastor, Sam Barnhart, at sam@journeytn.com.